Just want to do a video on another one of the early Dragon magazines that I purchased when I was young, and one of my favorite articles, one that I'm still using to this day. This is Chris, I believe the name's Chris Lancia, but it looks like Chris Lancy, and that's why in my head I always pronounce it Lancy because, Air Lancy. But I think it's Lancia, but doesn't matter. At least doesn't matter to me. It is this article here. It's found in this issue of Dragon, which is the second or third issue I ever bought. Can't remember whether I bought issue 79 or issue 81 first, but they were issue 83, 81, and 79 were available at the same hobby shop I went to when I was a kid. And I just want to say that for another cover, that is absolutely a fantastic cover. I just want to go to single page on this just real quick. Look at that cover. That is absolutely magnificent. In my imagination, I always looked at this cover and imagined myself as this guy, maybe as probably as a ranger, and this mammoth was one of my animal companions, and I'm doing battle with some kind of wingless dragon or four-legged demon. I don't know, but that is one of the coolest images. I just it's as good as anything I've ever seen by anyone. It's not. I don't know who the artist is on this. Real quick, I'm gonna go one more, see if they have it on the cover. They usually, on these early ones, they didn't always have on the cover. Let's see, they have the contributing editor, contributing artist. They have who the artists are here, but I can't quite make out who this guy is. So let's see if I can look from that. Let's see. That's Steve Peregrine, because that looks like what this is covering up here is Steve Peregrine's name right here. Peregrine, copyright 1983. But anyway, excellent. Absolutely one of my favorite covers. But leads me to this absolutely wonderful article. What this does is actually slightly overcomplicates poison, but if you're going to use it, if you're going to have, you can use it in your game. This makes poison much more manageable for your PCs and NPCs, because it does things like this where. Let's go to insinuative poisons, which means poisons you put on your weapons, of course. So it gives you a level of strength, onset time, run time, damage, and very importantly, it gives the price, which is what I like, because players are going to want to know how much the poison is to get it. Whether they're assassins or not, they're going to want to buy it. They're going to want to use it. This has the best thing is the onset time, because that does give you a chance to give the characters at least a shot at least gives them a shot at surviving by getting things like slow poison. And then the runtime, like this G poison here. I mean, let me just put some focus on that thing. That is it's a particularly bloody poison there, man. No wonder it's 5,000, 7,000, or 10,000 gold pieces. Now, keep in mind, despite what it says for their save there's also a +2 to your save if it's on a weapon, because unlike, say, an adder's bite, putting poison on a weapon is not quite as effective. But look at that. a 1-segment runtime. You have a segment before you're dead, and you have a segment, which is what 1/10 of a round is, before its onset. So you have two segments to get something done about that poison. That is an amazingly lethal poison. But most of the others are much more reasonable. But that's a good reason to have this one be so expensive. But it is, and it has contact poisons. It tells you about how many. So it's a wonderful system. It tells you how many uses you can do. Like if you, one dose can cover 8 needles, 1 doorknob, 1 chest handle, 3 gems, 5 coins. It's also the same thing, I believe, over here for the weapons. Like if you're putting poison on a weapon. The other one was for contact, but this is obviously for the insinuatives. 6 darts, 4 arrows, 3 spearheads, 2 pole arms. You can put 1 on a scimitar or a short sword. I'm about to sneeze, and trying not to. Anyway, this was just a wonderful article. And of course, it tells you about the monster venoms. It gives you a cost per dose, available doses in the monster when you harvest it, how easy it is to detect, what the saving throw is, what the result is. It gives an onset time, which isn't always available under these monsters, and a run time, which is not necessarily in the. This is a bit of a embellishment for this system, because that way you can get it makes poisons that are save or die instantaneous deaths rarer, which is what you want. It's poisons hard enough to deal with. You might as well, and then it gives you this thing too, chances for slayers to recover venom. This can also be used for chances for the slayer to recover things like skins and furs. These would all be pretty useful too for seeing how the survivability of a feasibility of the monster giving anything. Like if you're trying to harvest teeth or the skin or fur, or the skin or fur of the animal or whatever. This is a pretty good. I use this one. I use this specifically for poisons, but I also reference it in for those sort of things as well. Also gives antidotes. Also, chances of effect from just 1 sip. And you see phase spider poison. Not a good thing to sip on. Yeah, phase spider. Phase spider being, that's not lighting up, but phase spider right there is pretty effective. It's a save or die poison too. As you can see over here, good old Mr. Phase Spider. Hard to detect, extremely expensive. 1 to 3 round onset time, and from what I can see, there's no run time. So that means once the onset time is over, you are dead with a -2 save. Fantastic little subsystem here. I use it. I have this printed out and put into my binder right now for the campaign I'm running, so that I can use this for poisons. And as usual, the dragon often has had so many useful things in it in this time period. It's the introduction of the forum from this issue, and had stuff like Dawn Chariots. Not something I'm really that. Has Ruins of Andril, which is actually a pretty groovy adventure. I've never actually run it though, but I've been thinking about it recently because I'm running Halls of Arden-Vul, that I could have this be part of the Halls of Arden-Vul with its since it's has a this is a temple to Thoth, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, this is a monument to Thoth, and it could be put into, I could conceivably use as a expansion of or a mini level, but it's a pretty high level adventure if I remember correctly. What does it say here? 48 characters, 8th to 11th level, so I could put it in pretty late. This could have something though in it that could help you in the in Ardenvoul. Anyway, just something I was thinking about previously. There's another Living in a Material War. Here's how you can scrounge up spell components, which I think is a pretty good. So I think it's also a pretty good system, though I don't use it because I only use spell components that have listed prices in the player's handbook or DMG or whatever. If it does not have a listed price, I do not enforce I assume that they just have it. Maybe that makes me less of a bestial, a truly old school game master, but I don't really want to keep track of that crap. So I don't make the players do it either. It's different with encumbrance on coins and stuff like that. But here's a pretty good review, and Brotherhood of the Bolt. I've always wanted to get a hold of that. Anyway, I have the other two adventures, Shadow of Yog-Sothoth and Ravenloft, but I do not have any of the Brotherhood of the Bolt or any of the other adventures. It was by a third party stuff, and they're extremely hard to find. Even back then, they were extremely hard to find. But some good old stuff from Dragon. It's one of my. This is a really good issue in general, but I just wanted to talk about the taking the sting out of poison. It's a pretty excellent article. I'd recommend this entire issue to anybody who's running the old school, but especially if you're running AD&D, and you like having poisons in your game and your players like poison, that this is an extremely good article here. So that's about all I wanted to say about this. And if you like, please like and subscribe. And I will see you later.